Social behavior. Sorry, they tried to rob you into this chair. Choco's been doing this for months. Almost a year now. The best thing you can do is block and ignore them. Number one, you are literally the people who have yapped about me for almost a year and spread this information late on the right, not taking accountability for anything you did, and then trying to weaponize each other's misinformation to get it to a wider audience, spread your false narratives, and then when you are held accountable, you go to cry wolf and use your support that you had for each other as a way to try to moral bludgeon the opponent. And when the primary source speaks up, you'll either try to deflect from that or you try to spread your misinformation to other people. So, no. Also, as we have already seen the documents that I have provided, anyone who has read them knows that all of this here is an entire fucking projection. Oof, Frogo. Oh God, I'm so sorry you had to go through this. Do yourself a favor and block and ignore them as best as possible. Almost 30-year-old commenting on a minor's comment section because the minor ran their mouth around the primary sources situation, and then Frogo now is doing exactly the very same thing that I said they would do. Try to present themselves as a safe person and project what happened. They will say the most vile shit today you riled up. The person who falsely accused me of forced social conversion leaked my NSW account of the summer, made sexualized targeted headcanons about me, spread a sexual harassment campaign starting summer, platform predators, and also said on their fuck-ass blog, full of minors, things and headcanons about someone's mental disorders and mental health, while also rage baiting on every single comment section they could. Well, after telling me that they didn't win a fight, that this and that, having me actually be their emotional therapist for months, in which they messaged me while being a fuck-ass drunk, they said they were sorry about this situation, and then they went back to doing the same exact bullshit again. Again, Frogo talking as if I don't know them is really funny because all of this is a fucking projection the size of Mars. What else you got? Because again, as we have already seen, no one, not a single soul out of the thousands of people I called out before has ever been right about anything they said. It has always been myself fighting back against something they started and they thinking they could get offended over something they did to offend me, including their deceit, the manipulation tactics, their crimes, blah, 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 yeah. Also, someone says the most vile shit is because they did this vile shit. They commit this lie. They try to cause you to get upset, and then they blame you for getting upset, and then pretend that their rage bait is actually your rage bait. They call it attention circus as if I didn't have a giant account for 10 years that I've been on Tumblr, and they have been here 5 years at most on their primary account and only 1 year as Project Frugal. So again, they literally go to someone who's popular, chases clout from them, and then pretend that you're the attention seeker and not them. Choco only cares about Choco, sure. Again, that's why I have Hail Constellation when they were suicidal, even though they went part of the Discord harassment server that happened in summer, which I have already proven screenshots about. That's why I helped Project Frugal after their campaign in summer when they were suicidal and they had the mental health situation, and I dealt with the Caleb situation solo, also helping every single victim that was involved. Every single victim of Caleb's, every single victim of the radical anti-shippers, and also why people who used to worship the floor I worked around spend most venting in my inbox and trying to use me as emotional leverage, and also try to have me fix their situations if I were a toy for them. Choco to their gusto gets harassed and bullied to Kingdom Come, sure. So basically, hundreds and hundreds of people jump against one syskit. The syskit fight back against all of them. And then suddenly, after all of these people get exposed for doing the most abhorrent criminal shit possible and impossible, it's clearly them getting bullied. Sure. I mean, I am that... don't you guys know I have superpowers? Come on, guys. I realized it pretty quickly, and I'm hoping nothing more will happen. I hate rubbing into shit like this shit that you rob yourself into willingly. Be very liberal to ladies, kicky and helpful animals. Me who has never sent hate animals before. So this apparently just a good it won't last long. The other day, they tried to say that I apparently hate autistic kids because I made a remark on my brain blog. I goes through the autistic experience of being the other one out as frequently. Sure. The person who tries to ostracize others and makes fun of people's disabilities, disorders, and is ableist as fuck, yaps about feeling like the odd one out. For certain. Also, for starters, and so everyone's very clear, I didn't send for any anon about that. Someone sent me their anon, as in the response, onto my blog, because Fro was being ableist, and I documented it. Okay. That's the level of nonsense we're talking about. Sure, the level of nonsense of a mentally unwell 30-year-old or quasi 30-year-old with a best friend who is a walking projection straight out of a psych ward that they should have never gotten out of, and pathologizes victims while microanalyzing everything they post about, stalking them from burners, and also leaving and leaking through everything they do and post about. This guy can't be first for something because they have nothing else incorrect. These people get their energy returned 24/7, but they expect to win. They expect to do all of this without facing backlash or consequences. They will literally do anything to get it. Whether it's trying to rope unsuspecting victims for a year or almost a year, whether it's projecting their qualities and using as many people as possible to get that reach to a wider audience, while also getting the primary source to not be able to speak up against them, whether it's the legitimacy and trying to misrepresent the intention of the person calling them out, or whether it's just baiting, rage baiting over and over again in order to get a reaction, just so they can frame those reactions as the original cause of the attack. It's literally textbook denial. Victimhood cultivation. Again, this is quite literally just all this comment section is called a model inversion. It's a model inversion, and these things are very common with harassment campaigns. Either way. And we have South, Choco, that fucker, look, he's us every time I see. He's nothing but an attention whore. First, if you're gonna call someone an attention whore, at least write it correctly. Second, if you're gonna project that quality onto them, because South right, they had a entire community around literally yapping about me. Did that almost for 7 months because no one knew them. Literally, no one knew them back then. And then when that happened, then they tried to say that it was them being bullied. Basically the same thing as always. Attention whores projecting being attention whore and putting others at risk. I hope she rots! Make me rot, bitch. Again, all of these fighting words are ridiculous, especially from a community that claims to be anti-harassment, but obviously nothing about them is anti-harassment. They're just pro-victimhood cultivation. As someone who was the biggest worshipper in the community and did so much more for the community than all of them could ever combine, this is an embarrassment. But of course, they only care about chasing cloud and virtual signing online. But Now the truth. Like, literally, what is the point of lying? What is the point that your thing is going to work if you lie? There's literally no point in any of you lying. There isn't. I mean, it is a show of their privilege that they thoroughly think like the ASPI supremacists they are, that they're just going to do this without getting checked. Every single time. I don't know how many times I have said this. Actually, I do know how many times, but every single time this is going to happen, every time they do something like this to get attention, they're going to get a reaction. Every time they try to invert the roles and claim I'm the one trying to get attention, I'm just going to present all the evidence that contradicts it. And if they didn't do all of this, they wouldn't need to try to delegitimize the language or to claim, oh, this didn't happen, and have their words taken at face value. Because the truth doesn't need everyone to be convinced. The truth is what is and just needs evidence. And I have all the evidence. You'll notice how no one else in the community ever got all this attention. And mind you, all the attention I got, therefore all this, I earned it, the platforming predators, making posts in favor of the project community and educating anti-shippers about it, and helping countless other victims. Meanwhile, what did these people build themselves around? Online trolling, baiting, projecting their flaws and deficiencies onto them, and just being scavengers. All of this thing going on, all of it, and people still think that they can lie. Mind you, it's, again, the fact that they even believe that anyone owes them the slightest amount of mercy, it's parasocial beyond belief. But again, it's just what it is. You cannot really expect more from these people. This one's against Nier, by the way. So all of this things considering almost a year of sexual harassment from over hundreds of factors, considering have the platform for serial child sexual predators, considering thousands of uninvolved nobody's trying to have a say on the things that happen in my situation that I myself documented and experienced as the primary source, considering I am a cis child who has documented all of these things, even with all these people doing the impossible to try to defame me, project their decisions onto me, and trying to elicit emotional responses onto my person while committing a little crap of weaponizing their disorders, doing anything possible, anything regarding a cult to try and get me to be silent and to not speak up about them, while taking every time that they're held accountable as me, quote-unquote, rage baiting, aka their rage bait, because they did all of these things to upset me, but they try to use numbers to frame what they did as what I did instead. And because I'm cheeky and I decide not to get pissed on me, because if I get pissed on them, then they will just get what they want. Then they make all of these projections and all these pathetic excuses going on. Facts is you are the weakest people that I have ever met in my life. None of you can do a single thing on your own, and we have already seen this. You need all of these people to deflect accountability and make all of these excuses and these pathological versions. Together, you cannot take criticism, you cannot take that your actions have consequences, you cannot take the repercussions of all the problems you start. And then, of course, you will say the people who have done the most for the community and the people who have cared about every single person more than any of you ever would deserve don't care about anyone but themselves. Why? Because you all don't care about anyone but yourselves. And that's the thing, there's evidence about this. Meanwhile, for the things you say, there's none ever. So, have a nice day, everyone. I'm for my stalkers because you all spend your entire lives orbiting around me. Continue doing this. It's what you do best. You'll have nothing better to do with your lives, and there will never be anything better for you to do with your lives. Cope?